All right, welcome back to another video on the Shimmer Sports Network. And today we have our second weekly news video of the year. This week being July 13th through July 19th. It was kind of another dead week. Luckily, we still had the World Cup going on, so that was something to follow. Other than that, though, we just kind of have a couple news stories for each sports, nothing too major. So starting off with the World Cup, I'm recording this on the 19th, which is the Sunday. And the World Cup finals just wrapped up a couple hours before this. We're going to head back to Wednesday, July 15th and Tuesday, July 14th for the two semifinals, where we saw Spain play France on the first game, and Spain just absolutely dominated. 2-0. Kind of surprised by this, but Spain's really, their defense has been outstanding. They've kind of gone under the radar for people like me because they've just been dominating. They haven't really made any major storylines and winning, but they just keep winning. So it's great to see them do that. And then maybe game of the tournament because of the stakes that it had online. It's tough if that's to top Argentina, Egypt, but another Argentina comeback. It was 1-0 until pretty much the 85th minute when they finally tied it up off of a Messi assist and another Messi assist. Just 7 minutes later gets them the win. Just a crazy game. Congrats to Argentina heading back to the championship game after they just made it the last time. And it was a pretty defensive game. We'll get into that after we get into the third place game, which is just crazy. Literally completely opposite games between the third place game and the championship game, which kind of makes sense because I think England rested most of their starters or something, or at least their best player. And a final of 6-4 is a crazy game. 4-0 before the end of the first half. And it looks like maybe France is going to come back, but then England scores, France scores, and England scores again to lock it up. Just an overall great game if you like offense. And then for the championship game, or just a defensive game, not a lot of offense. I believe I saw that Argentina had 0 goal shots in the first half, which is insane. Spain's defense is just incredible. And story of the tournament, extra time to finish it off just seemed perfect. With Spain having an amazing goal by Torres to get them the win in the World Cup Championship, their second time ever in World Cup history. Just congratulates to them, and just overall congratulations to just a fun tournament. I'm not a big soccer fan. I honestly hate soccer and watching it. I thought it was boring. For some reason, this was always so entertaining, and I just feel like the time would fly by. So yeah, just want to thank the World Cup for keeping up these last couple weeks in the summertime, having us something to watch, and now it's almost college football season, so let's get there. So next up, we'll go to the NBA. We're still kind of in the peak off season. We still have a lot of players that could get moved. I think I saw a top 20 list, and all 20 I think are going to be big pieces to any team, whichever team they sign on. So that's good news. So let's get into the players that are actually moving. Starting off with the 3-team trade that happened just today on the 19th. Dort, the big name, getting traded to the Atlanta Hawks, along with Ryan Nembhard. So it was a 3-team trade between the Mavs, Hawks, and Thunder. Dort and Ryan Nembhard are headed to Atlanta, while Zachary Rissache is headed to Dallas, and the Thunder do their usual and get 3 second-round picks. So yeah, I think this is a fun trade. Second trade that the Thunder and Hawks have made together, with the first one being Aaron Wiggins, and then now Dort's going to be playing for him. So kind of got a new team, the Atlanta Thunder. I like this. Just get more defense for the Thunder, for the Hawks. Dort can become a solid 3-point shooter. Definitely don't want him to be your main shooter. That's not what you're getting from him, but just add another defensive piece alongside Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson. Great addition there. Ryan Nembhard, you could get something out from him. He showed a lot of promise on the Mavs this year, and I like him. He should not have got undrafted in last year's draft, but here we are. And then the Thunder doing their usual, just getting draft picks. We knew that this trade was coming. They couldn't have kept Dort with how big their payroll was. I think this is a good trade for them. I don't really see a big loser here. It's kind of crazy that the first overall pick from 2 years ago is already getting traded, but I think he can fit in Dallas. It's going to be really tough for him to play. There's a lot of guards and just a lot of minutes to go around in Dallas, and their roster is pretty stacked right now. They're definitely going to have to cut some guys, which sucks. But sticking with Dallas, Musa Cisse got a offer sheet from the New York Knicks. It was a 2-year deal, and the Mavs matched it. I saw as like some Knicks fans, they weren't really getting too hyped because they knew the Mavs were going to match it, and they did. So they're keeping their young piece there. He had a pretty good season this year. Hopefully, he can build off that. Then we saw Zaire Williams sign with the Lakers for a 1-year deal, moving over from the Brooklyn Nets. Just a depth piece. I'm not sure if he's going to really have any crazy minutes, but he'll be playing at some point throughout the season. He'll probably make the roster and everything. Just a depth piece. Nothing too crazy here. Jordan McLaughlin is re-signing with the Spurs. Again, just another depth piece. He probably won't be seeing minutes in the playoffs, but just good to have him on the team. And then here's a funny one. The NBA is investigating the Gary Trent Jr. contract that we talked about in last week's video. I don't blame him. This is just such a bad contract for the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't know why they did this. And when your contract's so bad that the NBA has to step in, you know you did something wrong. I thought that was really funny. Nothing's happened, so maybe hopefully by next week we'll have an update on that. And another update from last week was Jonas Valanciunas, who got cut by the Nuggets. He's leaving the NBA. I think I saw he's going to go play in Lithuania. So good for him. I think his time in the NBA was probably coming up. He was really bad in the playoff series versus the Timberwolves and was just not providing it positive stats for the Nuggets while he was on the floors. So I think it was time for him to go. And I just wish luck to him out in Lithuania. And kind of a small one, but for like Team USA. Mark Dagnott, JB Bickerstaff, and Mark Few have been appointed assistant coaches for Team USA, which Eric Spoelstra is going to be the new head coach instead of Steve Kerr. Great picks here. Don't really know. JB Bickerstaff's kind of surprising, but I mean, he's had great success in the NBA, so I'm not too worried about this. I'm not worried about any of them. I think these are good choices. So sticking into basketball, we'll head over to college basketball, and we had a big one. With Dusty May leaving, the Michigan players had 2 weeks under the portal. I didn't really think anybody would leave because, I mean, you just hire an assistant who knows what you're going to do. It's pretty much going to be the same. But LJ Cason is entering the transfer portal. Probably was maybe their third biggest name that you didn't want besides McKinney and Cadeau to enter. And he does. He is coming off of, I think, a torn ACL, some type of really bad leg injury. So maybe he's not going to be the same player he was before that. But just surprising that he's going to leave out and not try to defend a national championship at Michigan. He could return, I guess. He hasn't committed anywhere yet, but his name is in the portal. And then a small one, Donovan Dent, who did announce his retirement. Technically, I don't think he ever put his name into the draft, but he retired from basketball. But he's coming out of retirement to try and play for UCLA. He does need a 5th-year waiver. I think he's trying to go for the 5-for-5. And there was a whole new thing that a bunch of players, 15 to 20 players, just sued the NCAA hoping to get that 5th year. It's kind of crazy you're doing this in July. Most of the roster's already set. But I know UCLA, I think they were kind of short, so they definitely could use him. And I don't really... There's probably a whole list you can find somewhere of them. It's not that important to me because I don't think they're going to get a 5th year, which kind of sucks. I love Dent, but you played your time. Nothing you can really do about it. Because I know in Ohio there was one for Xavier, Cincinnati, and Butler. I think they all had players get confirmed, but I don't know if that's going to stick or anything. So yeah, college sports and their eligibility is just getting crazy. Now heading over to football, we head to the NFL, where we saw Dallas Cowboys defensive end Charles Snowden get suspended for the first 3 games of the 2026 season. And this was for violating the league's personal conduct policy, which he got a DUI in December 2024. So yeah, I mean, a bit late there, but I guess better late than never. And just 3 games. I mean, that sucks for the Cowboys, but it's only 3 games. First 3 games of the season, you can really tell what anyone's going to be anyway, so it's not that big of a loss, but thought it was pretty big news. Then George Pickens is going to be staying on his franchise tag. They cannot get a contract extension, and what a surprise, the Dallas Cowboys are not getting contract extension. Seems like they do this every year with their star player. George Pickens just that next one. They probably should re-sign him. He's definitely their best receiver, most consistent receiver. Yeah, I know they have CeeDee Lamb, but man, CeeDee Lamb had some bad drops last year and critical moments. I might be overpraying. He's probably still a better overall receiver, but Pickens was definitely a big playmaker, and you definitely need him on the team. And then Alvin Kamara finally got a contract done with the Saints. I didn't really I thought he was already under contract, to be fair. I don't really get this, but I think he just kind of gets like confirmed pay or something. Just thought I should bring this up. I don't really know too much about it. And then the Ravens got a pretty good signing in former Brown center Ethan Pocic, and he has started 97 games in 9 NFL seasons, and before he tore his Achilles last year, and now he's getting a 1-year deal with the Ravens. He's reported to be healthy, so I think this is a great um, I think this is a great signing for the Ravens. They had to replace Tyler Linderbaum, as you can see in the Schefter post on your screen. And he signed with the Raiders, so I think this could be a good addition. And if he's back to being healthy, I don't see how could be a lose. You're only worried about really how he plays off of injury, and you're just hoping he can be the best he can be. And a couple of small ones. The Bills claim wide receiver Quentin Skinner off of waivers from the New York Jets. Just that guy moving be important. I saw some other guys get like moved around, like some players getting put on the injury, like unable to play or whatever. Thought this one was cool. Thought this one was kind of important just because it's almost like a trade, but just like picking up someone from a different team. I don't think it's gonna have major effect. It's gonna be interesting to see if Skinner even makes the team. We'll see. And then finally for the NFL, Will Grier announced his retirement. Kind of, he had a really short NFL career, but then just college football legend, West Virginia legend, I guess Florida legend. But yeah, remember his game against Texas, that game-winning touchdown. Just absolute cinema from him there. Sucks to see him go. Can never really find his footing in the NFL. Not really surprised. He was more of a college, definitely like a college type player. But yeah, just wanted to report on that. And then finally, we head over to college football. Really quiet week. ACC Media Day was there. I think Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi claimed that the ACC was better than the Big Ten. Like, what are we doing? There's no way he actually believes that. That was definitely the most wild quote we got from there. But they also announced that they're fixing their tiebreaker ruling, which was much needed. You had Duke, a 7-5 Duke team playing in your conference championship game last year, and they won. So then the ACC luckily got Miami in, or else they would have had 0 teams in the playoffs. It would have been a catastrophe for the ACC. And it got new rules in where now the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and SEC championships winners are guaranteed a spot. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, those tiebreakers will be first off head to head, which I don't know why head to head wasn't that. It's just so weird. And then if it's not head to head, it's just kind of strongest overall body of work, which is just very vague. It's pretty much just say they're going to pick the better team and the best team who can get them into the playoffs. That's what it means. Fine. The championship games have lost their meaning in these last couple years anyway. Not too worried about this. And then, if you couldn't tell, Texas Tech is embracing the villain role. They partnered with a digital assets company named Galaxy, and that's going to be the name of their new stadium, or not new stadium, but their stadium. They're just renaming it. I think it's some sort of crypto thing. And apparently it's gonna like help pay players or something, NIL opportunities. It just sucks that they're shelling out to companies like that, but oh well. Just trying to be the villains, and it's tough. As being a Big 12 fan myself, I want the Big 12 to succeed, and I think Texas Tech is the best team that can make that. But the stuff they've done in the last couple months just really hurt their image. I don't really know if I can cheer for them. So we'll see. We'll see when we get into the season. And then finally, we had Indiana football. They got their highest recruit ever in the 5-star receiver, staying in state, which being Monsoon Sales. I think that's how you say his name. I just want to report on that because the defending champs just continue to just get better and better, and just continue to like the football program is just looking so much up compared to just like 3 years ago. So if I wanted to report on every signing from like a big name, and it would have been a lot longer. I just wanted to say that because that was kind of big news. I think he is from Indiana, so he's staying in state, which makes a little more sense. But still, 5-star receiver, best program, best recruit in program history. Just congrats to them. It's just been crazy to see their rise in these last 2 years. So that'll do it for this week's weekly news. It was definitely a lot more quieter of a week compared to last week. Maybe LeBron will go somewhere this week. I feel like it's got to be coming up soon, but he's also said he doesn't really care. Because once he goes, then everybody else will go, and then all the dominoes will fall, and then we'll have pretty much official rosters almost for the season. Still working on that college football video. Hopefully, I can get it done this week at some point. Get that thing edited. Because I'm kind of falling behind on that. But as long as I have all of them out before the season starts, I see that as a W. So I'm going to be getting to work on that all week long and just the rest of the month and into August. I'll keep up probably with these weekly videos. They're just pretty easy to make. Pretty fun. I like to talk and just give my thoughts on the weekly news in the sports world. So yeah, comment down what was your favorite news piece, or if you disagree with one of my takes, drop down below in the comments why you disagree. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.